How's it going, everyone? It is Drago. We're back with another chapter of Fairy Tale 100 Year Quest, chapter 101, The True Meaning. The cover page for this chapter has Wendy and Carla on it, which I quite like that we are getting a callback to like brooms and stuff, because you don't see too many people like flying around on brooms within Fairy Tale itself, which I'm pretty sure the one actually carrying the broom is Carla because she has her wings activated. I quite like this cover. I think it's really cute, very sweet, and I like to see them like above whatever city they are in. I don't know what little bird they got right next to them, but he's got a little hat on as well. We pick up the chapter with Silene freaking out that Ignia is here. And she is very worried that Ignia is here and like, oh gosh, two of the dragon gods are in the same place, oh no. And she starts talking that time was advancing faster than she's expected. And this little game that she's been throwing is now over. And that, Elfinsair, the person that she trapped in her own little dimension, he'll be fine as long as she just does not die. Because Silene is going into the Great Labyrinth now, and she is joining the fight. And her goal is now to stop Ignia, because she's going to go fight him, because she's a dragon god. So we cut over to Natsu, Suzaku, and Ignia, and they're just staring each other down. And Natsu asks, why are you here? And Ignia just says, he's here because there's something he's got to burn. Which Ignia is channeling that inner Itachi by saying that Natsu's not strong enough to fight him and that he has to get stronger. Which that's probably something you shouldn't say to Natsu because he's going to take that personally. So Ignia just starts walking away. And of course, Natsu takes that personally. He's like, hey, yo. Why are you walking away from me? Which Suzaku must realize the situation he's in because he's like, oh gosh, Natsu, shut up, please. Just let him walk away. He's not trying to kill us. Meanwhile, Natsu is just trying to egg it on. He's like, psh, this Ignia guy, he's too chicken to fight me. I'm the better fighter here. He's just walking away. I clearly win. Which that's how you piss him off because he turns around real mad at him. Which I flippin' love Natsu's smugness because he's like, I don't really care what you're after, but I have a job at the end of the day, and my job is to beat you, and I am going to do my job. I love his second line. He's like, since you showed up here all of a sudden, you just saved me the hassle of finding you, I can just beat you here and now, and job over. Which Ignia still does not want to fight him because he's like, dude, you are totally not ready to fight me. You will lose. I am just going to be wasting your life if I fight you. Which Natsu be feeling real confident in himself because he immediately goes, punches him with probably a fire dragon iron fist. He's like, try saying that after tasting my flames. Which very much reminds me of like Zancro here because he's like, you call those flames? Those were, barely even a fire. Which Suzaku is just like, dude, you're attacking him with fire magic, and he's a fire wizard and he's gonna just eat it. I love how defensive Natsu gets. He's like, what, did you want me to like attack him with like water magic? You want me to go learn that right now? Because, pretty much the only thing I know is fire magic. Which Ignia's just got to flex because he's just summoning like a massive amount of flames and he's calling it the power of noble destruction. And he just summons a ton of flames around him and, blows up the whole area around Natsu and Suzaku, which I'm surprised they even survived this. Which the next page you get kind of everyone reacting to those flames that just got summoned. And very interesting to note, I saw a few people pointing this out. Everyone is sweating and or / talking about how the temperature is insane or their skin is burning and you can see them sweating or like their clothes burning a little bit. Except for Misaka. Her clothes are fine in that little panel that she's in and she's also not sweating at all. And she just says it's taking an interesting turn. And she is the only one that's not talking about the temperature in the room practically. Just kind of an interesting detail. I wonder if she's got some form of immunity or resistance to like flame magic, or she just has like no sweat glands. You see the aftermath of Ignia's attack and he just left a giant crater behind. And Natsu and Suzaku are both fine. And when the dust clears, they realize that Ignia is gone. Which Suzaku's just trying to talk some sense into Natsu like, dude, you're not going to win against her. Just stop trying. And Natsu's just like, it's my job. I kind of got contracted to do this. And I also have to kill Silene too, your guild master. Which Suzaku's like, you didn't even settle things with me. Which I love Natsu so much because he's like, okay, fine. I'll call it a win on my half. And, you lost. I'm going to go kill Ignia and Silene. Goodbye. which Natsu is being the bigger guy here, which I'm actually kind of surprised because he's always the one that wants to fight people. Because Suzaku is all complaining about, like, I overpowered you, you didn't get the win at all. Natsu's just like, we'll settle this another time. I gotta go beat down Ignia right now while he's around, because he's a guy that will literally destroy everything and his friends are in trouble. And also he makes a very good point that Suzaku's friends would also be in trouble, which Natsu's just like, I'll fight you when we're done here, when I kill Ignia, or whatever happens, I'll fight you again when we're done. Which didn't really see this coming, but Suzaku's like, let's team up. We can defeat him together. I'll protect my friends, you protect yours. Which I like the dopey face that Natsu makes. He's like, I'm good. I'll do this solo. Which Natsu's feeling pretty darn confident because he's like, I can do it myself. I can do it all by myself. Which Suzaku actually manages to talk Natsu into actually forming a little alliance here by saying, if you want to protect your friends, it should be done through any means necessary. He's like, okay, fine, we'll team up. But if we team up, I get to name our team. So Natsu makes a tag team between Suzaku and Natsu, and they call their team Fires. So I guess you could technically call them a fire team. I've been playing a lot of Destiny, very excited for the Witch Queen. So we cut over to a different part of the dungeon, and we go over to Lucy and Kira, and both their clothes are melting. Which Kira does point that out, like, wow, we got some sexy get-ups going here. Which they have some great banter, because Lucy literally snaps back, like, you're one to talk. Kira starts immediately degrading Lucy by saying she's only interested in strong folks, and saying some of the ones that she'd be interested in is Urza, Loxus, and Misaka. And she calls Lucy a small fry and that she doesn't even give a crap about her. Which, love Lucy, she immediately snaps back like, you should check if someone's a small fry before calling them a small fry because, I'm pretty strong, Which Akira immediately just goes for an attack on Lucy, and she's like, I don't mind playing with small fries. Lucy doing a real great job of dodging everything, really showing how acrobatic she is. I love Lucy's confidence because she's like, how is that? I just dodged all your attacks. I saw it all coming. You didn't even hit me. Which Kira, pretty darn evil. She's like, yeah, you really saw through them all, did ya? And it gets revealed, yes, she did dodge the attacks, but her clothes did not. So Lucy ends up naked, and Lucy's rightfully pissed about it, and Kira's just laughing at like, well, I was going for your body, I just ended up hitting the clothes instead. Which absolutely love that we're getting star dresses that have been lesser used, more used now, because we get star dress cancer, which Lucy immediately wants to repay the favor to Kira. Since she was slashing at her so violently, she thinks that she'll just go slash her back. And Kira immediately thinks that she's way out of her league trying to slash her when she's like the queen of slashing. So those two start slashing at each other. And Kira's feeling real confident, like your attacks are going to work on me. And Lucy, real confident again, has to say like, really? You should check to see if the attacks are working on you. Which Kira looks down and she realized that Lucy did the same thing that Kira did to her. Which I absolutely love that Lucy got payback on someone that did that to her. Now she did it to them. And she even had to add an extra insult to injury. Like, at least Lucy can change her clothes immediately because of star dress. But she's like, oh, can you even change your clothes? Oh, too bad. Which, gotta admit, Kira does look very embarrassed here. And that is also the end of our chapter. So my thoughts. The fact that Silene is so terrified of what Ignia could possibly do in this labyrinth, and we don't know fully his goal at the end of the day, I think kind of just shows the threat that he is. And the fact that you got Silene actually joining the fight now, you could get some crazy battles going down here. Again, I'm quite sad that, you never got the Natsu Suzaku finish the fight, but you actually could, because they said they would fight after they fixed this whole dragon god thing. So for now, the temporary fire team that they made, I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. We'll see how everything plays out. The main thing I really wanted to talk about with this chapter was that Lucy-Kira fight. I think Lucy had a great start to that fight. I really hope that their fight does not get interrupted because we seem to have that happen a lot right now. I'd really like to see Lucy get this win because I think she was really smart with how she was, paying back Kira. And that's just one of her star dresses. So if she gets creative or she even does star dress mixes in this fight, she could really, if she's using using enough like strategy, being creative and stuff, I think she could definitely pull out the win here. And I think that would most definitely boost Lucy's confidence because she beat a like dragon slayer then, even though it's kind of like makeshift because they just ate dragons and it's not like beating Natsu, but she's still a very, very strong opponent. That also makes me wonder, like, next chapter, because she specifically says, can you even change clothes? Is Kira going to be naked the rest of this fight? She cut off everything. Honestly, I can see Lucy being nice to her, like, I'll summon in some celestial clothes just so I can fight you. What do you guys think of the chapter? Leave it in the comments below. Also, just kind of as a pre-warning here, I did kind of slightly mention it throughout this episode that Destiny the Witch Queen is coming out in a few weeks here. My clan on the game is going to try and do Worlds First, so I will probably be preoccupied from the end of February to the first week of March, trying to really grind out the game, so there might be less content. Probably less content, but otherwise besides that, everything is pretty much normal. If you didn't see the Urza video, I just made a hour-long Urza video. Go check that out. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and this is Drago signing out.